So what we're going to cover today is the Reventon journey. Over the last 20 years in business, what we're able to achieve. The second part's the Reventon formula. It's a proven success strategy on how to invest in real estate. I've also wrote about that in my Amazon best-selling book, Your Path to Wealth Brick by Brick. So if you come and see me and my team, I'm happy to share a copy of that with you as well. For those of you who have a mortgage, how can you pay off your mortgage in record time? Why rent vesting is the way to go, and it's a great way to make money. The power of corporate philanthropy. We mentioned at the start the Vinny's work that I do and why it's so important and why it's powered everything that I do behind, and key takeaways to the event. Now, we've spoken about AI today. They've spoken about business. The safest way to build your wealth is real estate. Now, we've heard people speak about Dubai real estate. I'm going to specifically talk about the Australian market, and I'm going to talk about some case studies. I'm going to show you how the foundational blueprint of what I've created across our business works and how people can make money. Now, it's very, very important to know a bit about my background, a bit about my team. I founded Reventon 20 years ago on the 21st of March, 2005. We've spoken about the Amazon best-selling book, Your Path to Wealth. I also run a podcast called Relentless Life on Your Terms. I'd encourage everyone to listen to it. It's currently in its 7th season. It's been recorded in America, all around Australia, and in September it's about to go to Cyprus and also in London. Myself and the business have featured in over 150 publications. What we're most proud of as a company is we've raised over 1.3 million for St. Vincent de Paul's. Over the last 8 years, I've been a Vinny's ambassador. And this year we raised a record amount of 400,000 and 1.2 million in total. I'm going to share with you how we're able to do that. So it's very, very important to do good things in business, I believe, to make money, to invest in real estate. But I think what you do with it is very, very important. And the key driving factor is, why do you invest? Why is it important to you? Why do you want to pay off your mortgage? Why do you want to buy real estate? Why do you want to build wealth? For me, it's very, very simple. Why I invest in real estate is to build generational wealth. So my company's vision is to create, build and protect wealth for now and generations to come. My why, everyone needs a why. It's a purpose bigger than yourself. My 4 children there. There's my son, Alec is 22, Giselle, and Penelope and Miller. So that's a little bit about our business, where it started. I heard a few people say I started my business with $0. I wish I started Reventon when I had no money. I started Reventon with a debt of $348,000. If you look at the left-hand side, that's my parents' living room to where it built now. We're very proud to say we've helped 10,000 Australians invest, 3,500 people get into the real estate market. We've won over 50 awards, over 3.5 billion in sales, 1 billion under management, and we've got over 500 5-star Google reviews. Now, I speak a lot about formulas, foundation, blueprint, how you implement it. So in my book, Your Path to Wealth Brick by Brick, I've broken up into 8 steps. How do we start? You need a blueprint. What are you trying to create? So the first part of your journey, whether it's in business, whether it's creating wealth, you need a blueprint. Step 2 is the foundation. How are you going to put that in place? Bricks or sticks, it's part of my book, which means, what are you going to choose as an investment? Is it shares? Is it real estate? Is it business? All of these things are good investments. Even though I'm up here promoting real estate, I'm not going to tell you shares isn't a good investment. I'm not going to tell you to not invest in your business. What I'm going to tell you is the safest, the most predictable way to build wealth in this country is residential real estate. It's proven. Partnering up. Find a team that's successful in what they do. Find a team that has tenure, that's been doing it for a long time. Securing finance is making sure you have the ability to service what you're looking at, your borrowing capacity. Step 6 is laying the cornerstone, your first investment. I've said this many, many times. Your first investment is your most important. I always get asked, but why would you say it's the most important? Because it's your stepping stone to your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So if you don't over leverage, and if you buy in the right area with the right returns, you're going to be able to get into the market again quickly. And you're going to be able to repeat that process over and over. And that's when you're going to truly compound your wealth through real estate. Applying the mortar is making sure that you've got the right tax structures. You're buying in the right areas. You're buying preferably a new build gives you the most appreciation across your building fixtures and fittings and across everything internal. Now, the last step is the most important. It's brick on brick on brick. What that means is you repeat a successful process. If you have a blueprint in real estate or in investing and you've bought one property, that should compound you into your second, third, fourth, and fifth and really start to build your wealth further. Now, I'm going to go through a few points that I've got in my book here, which I can't go into too much detail because obviously time doesn't allow it. It's very, very important when you're looking at a property market, and I'm even going to extend this no matter whether it's in Dubai, whether it's in Australia, wherever it is, that you're buying at the rising of a market, which is about 9 o'clock. So every market in real estate is cyclical. You've got up, you've got down, you've got an emerging market, and you've got to understand what are the forward indicators. Why is a market about to boom? On the next slide, I'm going to share with you some of the key things to look for to how a market moves, how a market grows, and then you can build your equity faster. On the left-hand side, on this, or wherever you're looking here, we'll look at the sweet spot. Now, what Reventon does is it gets people into real estate around about that $500,000 to $750,000 mark. We call this the sweet spot because you've got the lowest vacancy rates, you've got the highest tenants, and it's an easy process to get into the market and build equity really fast. And as you build equity, what you can do is you can buy another one. And as the 8-step said, is you can really build your wealth over and over. Now, according to KPMG, the average growth rate in real estate in this country is 5.1%. Over the last 3 years, our clients have enjoyed more than 3x, over 16% return. We've beat the market because of how we buy real estate and where we buy. Some of our clients have more than 5x that. And that's because we're very research-based. The next slide will show you exactly. These are the key factors we look for when we're buying in real estate. What's the population growth? Very, very important when it comes to supply and demand. What's the infrastructure? Where's the government spending their money? Is there a Costco opening in this area? Is there a Bunnings? All that means there's going to be jobs in the area. What's the employment like? Is there strong employment in the area? And more importantly, is there diversity of employment? Now, the reason diversity is important, we look many, many years ago, you see Perth was a mining town and the property prices went up very, very quickly. But what happened was, because it was underpinned by one sector, it went down very quickly. Now, I never say I'll never invest in a certain area or a certain market. At that time, we were not investing in Perth because we felt it was a one-trick pony. Now, I'm going to share with you some slides and some testimonials on our clients making a lot of money in Perth because there were so many other key factors driving that. Now, looking at the bottom, what we look at, public and private investment. Again, infrastructure. What are walk scores towards schools, shopping centers? What is the public transport like? Strong rental yields. Rental yields are very, very important because it actually allows you a cash flow. There's three predominant reasons we invest in real estate: cash flow, capital growth, and tax savings. House prices versus income. What's the average income? What's the average house price in that area? And obviously low vacancy rates, which means you'll be able to have tenants and income. Now, let me show you our Reventon formula in action, okay? A lot of people tell you where to buy and it's booming. If you're hearing about an area booming, you're probably too late. You're not at that 9 o'clock at that property clock, the rising emerging market. We had a client come to us that couldn't get into the Melbourne market, but they were hell-bent on buying their own home. What we suggested is them buy a property. In this case here, it was in Toowoomba, $480,000. Within 3 years, they used a $61,000 deposit. That's a 10% including LMI and overheads. Their $61,000 turned into $270,000. Now that represents a 440% return. If I said to you, put your hands up if there's a great return, 440% in 3 years. Hands up, guys, 440%. You don't think that's a great return? Good. Well, I think it's fantastic. Now, Reventon formula. Thank you, Zed. Thank you. It's a tough crowd, guys. Come on, mate. 440%. Jesus. Anyway, $250,000. I don't know if people have lazy or $250,000, but that's on one property. Imagine 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if you look at the bottom of this here, this is where our formula worked in different areas. This is where we predicted growth. We were buying real estate in Geelong in 2014. You go back to 2014, we were selling 4-bedroom homes there in that sweet spot that we discussed, around about the $400,000 mark, renting for $500 a week. Then we went to Brisbane. Then we went to Adelaide. With Perth, our clients have made a ton of money in Perth. As I said, we were investing a lot there. Now, a lot of our research is saying, come back to Victoria and look at different things because we believe it's going to grow again further here. Here's another example. Now, this client came to us and they wanted us to pay off their mortgage quicker. That was their main goal and objective. So we bought them a house in Geelong in 2018. They bought a house in Perth. They cashed up from both of these properties. They made $300,000, which they used to pay off their mortgage sooner. So it's not one system fits all. Everyone has a different strategy. So it's very, very important that when you have that first meeting with any company that you go to, that you really sit down and analyze that strategic plan, that blueprint, what you're trying to achieve. Some people's goal is to pay off their mortgage sooner. Some people's goal is to retire with more wealth. Some people's goal is to focus on their business. The beauty of what we do as a business and the beauty of real estate is it builds your wealth safely and securely. And for all you business owners, I've got a lot of clients that are business owners. And they say, Chris, how much can I borrow? How many properties can I buy? And I say to them, it really depends on what you want to do with your business. If you want to really grow and scale your business, maybe buy 1 or 2 investments and you build your portfolio a little bit slower, which means you can be more liquid to focus on your business. In this case here, has anyone in this room heard rent vesting is dead money? Have you heard that term? I know Zed has and other real estate people. I say rent money is extremely smart money if you invest your money first. Now, if you can, and this is becoming very, very popular now. There's so many people now that have become rent investors. I was a rent investor when I was 20 years old, before it was even a term. Now, why was I a rent investor? Well, I had a $30,000 deposit, which my father gave me as an early wedding present because I wasn't going to get married for many, many years, which turned out to be true. I was correct there. I asked him for the money early. He said, what do you want it for, Chris? I said, I want to buy a car. I said, no, find a piece of real estate and I'll give you the money. So I went and started researching. I bought my first piece of real estate. It was a 3-bedroom, double-story townhouse in New South Wales, Tweed, $183,900. I was getting $220 a week. We're talking 25 years ago, 26 years ago. I rented a house valued at $260 at the time in Taylors Lake, where I'm from. That was actually renting at $190. So I could use the rent from here to pay that one off. I was getting $6,800 tax savings because for investment purposes, and it was in a targeted growth area. I sold that 6 years later for $300. I made $328K, which was in a much better area. Thank you. And I used that money and I bought more real estate. Now it's becoming very, very popular because people can't afford to live where they want to live. People work in the city, they live in the city. They want to be close to their friends, they want to be close to amenity. So rent vesting is very, very good because you're targeting high growth areas in Australia. You're living where you want to live. A lot of people, young professionals, live in apartments. Now, apartments in most cases won't make as much money, in my opinion, based on my experience. They're a renter's proposition. The overheads are high and they don't grow as much. The body corporates are high. So I've purchased personally over 30 properties myself, and to today I still rent. I'm a rent investor, and I have been for 25 years. It is a much safer, a much more robust way to make money and build your wealth without a shadow of a doubt. Now, am I telling you not to buy your own home? No, I'm not. Am I telling you that's not the right strategy for you? No, I'm not. But I am telling you 100% unequivocally, it is a smarter way to build your wealth. It's a smarter way to stay nimble. You can travel and go wherever you want and live where you want to live. So that's why this term has become so popular. And there's a lot of young professionals rent investing at the moment. Now, to make it a bit funny, I bought this story of 2 Nathans. I've got 2 Nathans that we've helped. And these are some of the examples. Now, every example that I've put up here, they're in different states as well. So I wanted to show you how robust our strategy is, how good the Reventon formula is, and why all of our clients come back to buy more real estate. We've helped clients buy portfolios of 5, 10 properties, and we do that regularly. Because when we show them a safe investment, and I said the first is the most important, they build equity very fast. They buy a second, third, fourth, and fifth. The hardest part when it comes to investing, always, the hardest part when it comes to a business, always, is getting started. Get the blueprint in place and take action. And if everyone can take one thing away from today's presentation, today's summit, take action. Get someone's business card, set up a meeting, buy a piece of real estate, set up a business venture, do something with the information. You were very, very kind to invest your time to be here today. It's my wish that you do something with that time and you make money and you really start to build your wealth. In this case here, we had Nathan. He bought an investment in Feb of 24 for 500. He sold it a year later for 631, and he used that to buy his dream home. He never had enough money to get into the market. So we said, why don't you look at that a little bit different? Why don't we target what we can buy now? Let's make as much equity as we can and use that to reinvest it. Another Nathan here now. The Nathan on the left, Nathan W., is actually one of our team members as well. One thing we do very, very well at Reventon, we invest where we tell our clients to invest. So when I wrote that book in 2017, I started an experiment. And people are saying, don't buy real estate for all these reasons. I said, I'm going to buy as much real estate as I can. I bought 17 pieces in 3 years in multiple areas, and I'm going to use my methodology that I write about, the Reventon formula. I had a 100% success rate when it came to growth in a property, over 2.1 million in growth. There was 430,000 in cash flow, 191,000 in positive cash flow through using my methodology. And when people say, do they back what they say? I was writing a book about this, but I was also running an experiment using the methodology that we teach our clients. Now, Nathan here started investing with Reventon 3 years ago. When he started, he had 10K. Now he's got a $2 million portfolio, which spans across Adelaide and Perth. I think it's very, very important when you're looking at real estate that you look at the Australian market, because a lot of people buy where they live because they're emotional buyers. I want people to be logical buyers. A lot of people go shop at CBA because their mum and dad shops at CBA. You're a generational banker. I want you to go to somewhere that's going to give you the best rates. I want you to go to a good broker. Not all brokers are created equally. Go to a good broker that can give you the best products, the best banks, to be able to leverage your money. A good broker and you have the same goals. He wants you to get into as much good debt as possible to build your wealth as quick as possible. Now, what you focus on expands. I've put some things that are very important to me. Nathan thought it would be funny to put a health picture of me in hospital, so thank you, Nathan. Health, wealth, family, business, knowledge, and philanthropy. Whatever's important to you, whatever you focus on, you're going to attract. For me, wealth was very, very important. Building my clients' wealth was very, very important. I wanted them to be able to make smart investment decisions and give them the right knowledge to be able to grow their wealth. Now, we spoke about, at the start was mentioned, philanthropy, super, super important. One thing that I'm very, very proud of from our company's perspective is how much we help St. Vincent de Paul's. Being a proud ambassador, we've raised $1,218,882 in 8 years, and we're the highest ever fundraisers in 20 years. So it's good to do good things in your community. It's good to make money for your clients, but it's also your purpose and your why. So I would encourage anyone in business that's doing well, give back in any way. Doesn't have to be to Vinnie's. Find the charity that moves you. It's going to move your team further. You're going to feel much better about it. And what's going to happen after years, this is starting to happen to Reventon, which is very, very exciting. People say to me, Chris, how have you raised so much money? I'll start from the start. This year we sold a house which we built, paid off and donated to charity for $840,000 to Vinnie's. So I'm super, super proud of that. Thank you. I remember I was shopping at the time and I thought, what can I do more than the sleep out? I said, you know what? I want to buy a house. I want to pay it off and donate it. That was that vision coming to life. This year we also raised, we did a gala called Lead with Kindness. We had 320 people in the room, black tie event. We raised 200,000 in one night, which was great. My 8th sleep out, we raised a record amount, which was $400,000, which bringing the combined out to 1.2. I've read this quote somewhere. It was in a book. I don't know where it was exactly. It was online. And I think the quality of your life comes down to the quality of your contribution. What do you do in your community? Now, what's happened over years, because people see me talk about Vinny so much, they see me promoted so much, it's actually, now it's becoming business. People go, we like that company. We like what that company stands for. And after all these years, it's actually turning into profit. That was never the intention. It was never why I started doing the work for Vinny's. But as a result of all the work we're doing, people are looking Reventon online. They're looking at all of our events online, and we're generating more and more business. So I'd like to invite everybody to think of something that you're super, super passionate about in the philanthropic space. Doesn't matter what it is. And start giving back to that. Now, people say, Chris, but I don't have that sort of money. You can start a conversation. You can raise awareness. There's so many ways you can mobilize that conversation. And that's going to help yourself. It's going to help your business. And more importantly, it's going to keep your team happy and motivated and inspired. Now, some of the key takeaways that I'd like you guys to leave with today is obviously there's so many markets, sub-markets in Australia. Where's the prime markets? Where can we find that 9 o'clock on the property clock? Okay? Use the Reventon formula to invest wisely. If you don't know how to implement it, come and see myself or my team. Buy one of my books. 100% of the money goes to charity. I wrote that as a give back strategy because I wanted people to get into the market safely and securely. If you've got a mortgage, learn how to invest to pay it off quicker. Okay? Give back more if you can. Support your community. Come and see me. Now, for those of you who know, there's quite a few people in this room that I know personally that follow me on social media. I'll invite the rest of you to do so as well. I post a ton of content. It's all around wealth creation. It's all around real estate. It's all around Vinny's as well. And my podcasts. Please connect with me. Come and see myself and my team. If you like what you hear, I'll invite you to have a free, no obligation consultation with one of my team members. They'll explain to you how to get into the property market, how to be able to invest safely and securely. On behalf of myself and Reventon, thank you very much for having me. Please come and see us here on table 3. Thank you very much for your time.